What's up, guys? It's your boy, Brother Charles, back again with another episode of Therapy 66. And this episode is very special. And every episode after this is going to be very special because we have something a little new going on. Excuse the dogs if you hear the dogs in the background. We do have the pit bulls outside of the studio just for protection, okay? But don't mind them. We're not here for that. We're here for the message. But like I was saying, what was I saying, babe? Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. These episodes are very special because now I have a co-host, which is an honor. Which is my lovely wife, Miss Kia. Give it up for her, y'all. How you doing, babe?
Pretty good.
You good?
Yeah.
That's good. Because anytime that you are good, I'm great. You understand?
Amen.
Amen. So today we are here to chop it up, talk about it, because I wasn't aware of I was aware, but I never experienced women losing kids or having miscarriages and stuff like that. But that's what we're here to talk about, and we're gonna get a little bit more into detail on it. But anybody who knows us knows that we've been together for nah. But anybody who knows us knows we've been together for about 11 years. Been messing with each other for about 11 years, as we say, messing around. But we've been married going on 7 years now. So, and through that process, we have been trying to make a baby, conceive, right? Ain't that what they call it?
Yep.
Yeah. So we've been trying to do that, and I'm not gonna say that it's been a struggle because
It's
we got
God's timing.
yes, it's God's timing, and we have faith. So we believe, and we know that God is going to bless us in His timing, like my lovely wife just said. Ain't that right?
Yep.
Am I doing too much talking? Did you want to say something?
You're doing good.
Did you want to open it up a little bit?
In a second.
Okay. But yeah, so yeah, we just been trying to conceive to
Since 2017. Like officially trying.
yeah I would say officially trying since 2017, trying to have a baby.
We even went to
Right. So, but when did we do that?
2017.
Well, no, then that's what we went. We went there to make sure
Well,
everything was okay.
yeah,
The
but
fertility clinic.
it's between 2017 and 18 because it was like at the end of this, like around this time.
Right. So we sound like I'm breathing hard as on the one this mic. But maybe I need to take a treatment.
Possibly. But I can't hear nothing. So.
Can you hear yourself?
No, I mean, I can't hear you like breathing hard.
Oh, okay. It's probably internal thing going on in my head. But what I was about to say. What was we just saying? The fertility clinic. And
I found out that I had fibroids.
not then.
Mm-hmm.
At the fertility clinic.
Mm-hmm. They did an ultrasound there in the building.
So, that's when that's when she figured out she had fibroids, and oh no, that's what I was going to say before I said that. It's totally different, but I was saying I need to take a treatment, and I was going to say for those who don't know what the treatment is. We talking about a nebulizer asthma inhaler treatment. That's what my lovely wife say I need to take every day. When she said, "You hear your breathing?"
Yep.
I say, no, but anyhow, so we went to the fertility clinic 2017, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there then, and we were trying to figure out, um, first and foremost, was there an issue? Are we able to have kids?
Yeah.
Right. That was the initial question to see are we able to have kids because we've been trying because we was married in 2016 and then we were trying and trying and trying and trying and then we like well why don't we go check and see if we can have kids and in that time excuse me we figured out that we could have kids but then in the same stroke we figured out that the kid had uterine fibroids
Right. But the doctor didn't really. They didn't really.
express
Yeah.
the severity
Yeah. And
of
I'm
uterine
guessing
fibroids.
because we didn't um go through with the process.
What with them?
Mm-hmm. Because if we would have went through with the process, I'm pretty sure they would have told me I need to get it removed.
Right. So
Cost too much.
to do what?
That number they gave us
To do what? It costs too much to do what?
to do the process.
Okay, so the process is for those who don't know, we went to the fertility clinic and we were actually going to do what they call what do they call it?
IVF.
IVF. I forgot what it stands for. But
Look it
um
up.
look it up while I say this though. So IVF, we were going to do the IVF thing, which in I'm not gonna say for lack of a better words, but it's when they insert the sperm cells into
The egg.
the eggs and create a baby. So the correct term for IVF is going to be a medical procedure whereby an egg is fertilized by sperm in a test tube or elsewhere outside the body. So we were going to go through that process, but that process cost too much, and we did not end up doing that process.
Correct. And we learned that it was a little bit of issues with both of us.
What was the issue? Because I just said it wasn't no issue. What was it?
Oh.
What was it?
So for me,
Oh yeah,
my
yeah.
egg count was a little lower.
Right.
And then
For me, it was
the shaping.
the shaping of the sperm cell. It was like what is it? It's the motility. I believe that's what they call it. Look that up and see if that's what it is. The motility, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's either the motility or the morphology. It's something like that. But which mean which was meaning that the sperm cell, for anyone who know that the sperm cell is like has an oval head shape on it, which puncture the eggs is which how the eggs get into which is how the cell get into the egg and then the baby is conceived. The shape of mine was not that shape. It wasn't a shape to where the point it can puncture the egg. No, see, I see the motility is the how it moves. Yeah, it's the morphology. So it was the morphology. The morphology is the shape of it. The motility is how fast it moves to the egg. So yeah, that's what it was. The morphology of my sperm cell. Sperm cells were uh the sperm cell heads were shaped funny. So that was an issue too. I forgot about that. I'm glad. Thanks for reminding me.
Well,
So we figured that out.
and then that was the end of 2017. And then 2018, like January.
Mm-hmm.
We went, and then my tubes was clear enough for the flow of the egg and then the sperm and
We
everything.
went back.
Yeah, remember we went out Rockville, I think? We had to go to the other place. And they had to stick some dye. They had to insert dye in me
Yeah,
to make sure my tubes was clear.
in that nice looking place.
Mm-hmm.
Then you knew it was gonna cost some money once we stepped in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. That was what
2018.
2018. They cleared your tubes.
No, they put some dye in it to see if my tubes were like, it was nothing blocking in between my tubes, like if it could flow right through. So it won't be no issues for the sperm to come through,
Oh, okay. And it
I
was
believe.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Right. So that was that. Um, and it was so expensive. We was just like, we just gonna
Wait on God.
let go and let God. Seriously. And I found that we had to like actually stop trying.
Stop trying and change our diet.
Right. That was another thing. We had to change our diet. Well, we didn't have to change our diet. We end up watching What the Health, and that there will make you change your diet.
Right.
Yeah, so that did it kind of it don't affect everyone. It don't have the same effect on everyone, but it had an effect on me to the point it made me stop eating meat like almost immediately.
It did for me immediately.
Yeah, it almost like stop immediately. Um, so we had started changing our diet. We had stopped eating. What we stop eating? What we do to our diet? You know more than me.
We ate more vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
We started off, we didn't change it like how we eat now, but we stopped eating chicken, beef, pork. I think that was it.
Majority of everything, and then we just
Cut back
decided to
on the
become a
dairy.
pescatarian, huh?
We cut back on dairy.
Yeah, and decided to just be pescatarians because then we tried to go vegan straight out the gate and it didn't work. And I like to throw some food in the cellar when we first tried that vegan thing, but it's not vegan as you can't. Well, I don't know because some people make them walk right into it, but I think it's something that you will have to gradually do. I don't believe it's uh at the switch. You can't just
Right.
switch. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. Fast forward, not fast forward. What was we at the dad? So we started eating good. We started eating, drinking juices and
Working out.
working out. Um, the uh, the juicing thing is great. The natural fruit juices. If you don't drink, if you haven't had fresh squeezed juice, straight out the kitchen, straight from the crib. If you haven't had it, you need to get it. That was a commercial. I just did a commercial. I felt like it was a commercial. So if you want some of the good juice, the link is in my bio. Okay? Just know that. Just know that. Come and get it. My wife, she makes it. It's very good. She mixing it up. But let's get back to the story. I just did my own sponsorship. So
You
YouTube don't
did.
even need to do all that skip ad stuff or for now at least.
Okay.
For now at least, okay. Until we, get the sponsors and all of that stuff. But back to
So we started juicing in 2021.
right.
And
Yeah. Right, right.
And we also, I think in 2021, hmm, I think I gave up and I was like, forget it.
On what trying to? Yeah, I did. I stopped. To be honest with you, excuse me, yeah. To be honest, I started to lose faith.
And I gave up.
I really did. I really started to lose faith because it was like, you know what? I don't know. I do not know, and it's not up to me to figure it out. So I'm gonna just let it be and let it be. And then what when you get pregnant, you got pregnant in July
Mm-hmm.
2021
Mm-hmm. Around our birthday.
around our birthday. Yeah, our birthday is 3 days apart, guys.
Yeah. And so, like,
Hers is July 1st. Mine's is July 4th.
and like,
Firecracker baby. Firecracker baby. Sorry, nah, go ahead, baby.
I think 2 weeks. So, Raya had a dream
mm-hmm.
that I had a baby. I took a pregnancy test
Mm-hmm.
and I was hiding it from mom. And then she had another dream that I had a baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was prophesied to me a couple of times, well, to us, that we're going to have babies, a
Mm-hmm.
baby boy, and we're going to have kids.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I heard it once before, and I'm like, whatever. So then, not fast forward. Before we got pregnant, um, what was it?
Right. You
God
said
told me to do the nursery.
right.
That's what it was. Before we even got pregnant, God told me to do the nursery the end of June. And I was like, baby, we need to do this nursery. He like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay.
I'm
You
like,
can
all
do this
right.
nursery.
Like, all right, go ahead. I come home, her and my mother-in-law in there painting the room and doing everything. They took it. You just thought the baby was here.
Mm-hmm. And then so when we went to go get the paint, the lady said, I can't find a receipt. I mean, I can't find the sticker to put on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And she was like, once she found it, she gave us a discount and everything. And
On
then
the
she was,
paint.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Then she was like, here you go, mama. And I'm like, I said, Mom, she's talking to you. She's talking about, no, you. Here you go, mama. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Forgot I told her I was doing a nursery, but not knowing, like, I'm not pregnant yet. So
Right.
So we took it and everything and then stopped painting. And then a week or two later, that's when we got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't obedient,
Right.
we would have never had that opportunity.
Right. That's the key thing too. That's the key thing in life. Don't miss that. I'm learning that as well. Um, it start with obedience.
Mm-hmm.
When you become obedient and do what God say, um, that's exactly where it started, and that's what we need to do. Be more obedient, us and whomever is watching this video. Learn to be obedient and listen to God when God talks. Okay,
Right.
He tells you something every time. No, it's not. Uh, something told me. Nah, God told you. Holy Spirit
Mm-hmm.
told you. That's who it is. Be obedient and listen to that voice.
Right.
You can't hear God talk because you too busy talking. Be
Mm-hmm.
quiet, let your spirit settle, and you'll hear from God. But go
Yeah.
ahead, man.
So then after I painted the room and stuff, then Raya had her dreams. And mom was like, why you had dreams about you having a pregnancy test and da da da. And I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. So after like 2 weeks into July, I'm like, I'm supposed to be on my period.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spotting the first day, and I'm like, whatever. I always spot. So then I'm like, spotted the second day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whatever. Spotted the third day, all day, just spotting.
Mm-hmm.
I said, something ain't right. I'm like, so what played back in my head was mom was saying, why you had that dream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and then I'm feeling a little funny. Something just is just not right. I'm like, I don't feel the same. I just knew something was different, but didn't know. Because I'm like, I can't be pregnant.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why you. I don't know why you thought that.
Right. And I'm like, well, let me go to this. I went to the dollar store, bought 2 pregnancy tests. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay on these. They're going to be negative, whatever. So I came home that evening, peed on it. It was positive. I said, oh, it's an error in that. I'm just going to, no.
I think
I
it's my
waited.
first time hearing the story, to be honest with you.
It is.
Go ahead.
So I waited into the morning time, peed on the stick. Once I peed on the stick, I'm like, positive. Okay, whatever. I'll come back home later on, pee on it again.
Mm-hmm.
So went back home in the afternoon, peed on it, positive. More darker than it was in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, now there's something. The first one, okay, it was a little, I'm like, okay. Called my OBGYN. And I'm like, I peed on the pregnancy test, came back negative. Came back positive.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, okay, come in so we can get your blood work done. I'm like, okay. Went in, go get blood work. And I never told him the whole time why I'm doing this. It's just me and God. I'm like, all right, God, I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling a little different. I'm getting more tired than I normally am. I'm like, something just ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
So went to the OBGYN and I peed on that stick with them. It came back negative. They tested it again and then it came back positive. But they like, let's just get your blood work done.
Mm-hmm.
Got the blood work done. Waited a week. They talking about.
Hold up. So you went to the OBGYN and I didn't even know, right?
Right. And I went to
So what did you tell me when you went to the OBGYN? What you tell me you was going at?
I didn't tell you. You know, back right then I was doing Instacart, so.
I'm about to say, because I normally know where you at. So.
And yeah. And that's why I switched that OBGYN and then end up going to the one that I was going to.
In Greenbelt.
Mm-hmm.
You went out there?
No, I went out Clinton.
But I'm saying, you went to the OBGYN in Greenbelt when Clinton. I didn't know?
No, in Clinton.
Oh, okay.
So I went there, got the blood work done. What's it called? I think it's called, look it up.
Well.
The levels.
I don't know what the levels
I think it's H.
pH levels?
Anyways, when I went to get the blood work done, they was stating that
that's what it's called?
Yeah.
The HCG level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my HCG levels, they was like, it's low.
Mm-hmm.
So come back next week, get more blood work drawn, and we're going to see. I'm like, okay. Went back again and got blood work drawn. They like, it only went up a little bit. That still don't mean you pregnant.
Hmm.
I said, okay, but by this point, I'm starting to spot.
Right.
I said, well, I'm spotting. And I'm not about to come back in there for a third time for y'all to draw my blood again.
Right.
So by that time, I'm like, whatever. So I'm a little agitated. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I called Tina and I was like, Tina, I don't know. I think I'm pregnant, but I just don't know. And I'm telling her what they telling me. So then I we went when we went to D-Lo graduation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was my iron dropped
Mm-hmm.
real low because it was getting cold. So that was another thing. I'm like, all right. I still haven't told him at this point. Still, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, all right. I know I'm pregnant. I know deep down inside I'm pregnant. I'm getting cold. I'm sleeping more. I'm like, whatever. So by this time, when was his graduation? The end of July?
I don't remember.
It was like the end of July. So then,
Yeah, because it was his birthday too.
yeah, it was the end of July. So then after that, we went to I was like, whatever. So I went to go take 2 more pregnancy tests in August.
Mm-hmm.
Positive. Both of them. I said, okay, I'm pregnant. So Tina was like, find a new OBG. I'm like, okay. So I found one. Then they talking about they can't fit me in into 2 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. By this time we was going to the football game. The Redskins practice.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that day I called you?
What you say?
So he was at work and I went to the urgent care because I was spotting more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I need y'all to check me to see what's going on because I'm spotting. I know I'm pregnant, but I'm spotting.
Right.
So I call him because he still don't know. And I'm like, baby, I'm at the emergency room. Something just ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in the car with him and
Oh yeah. But across the street from
Mhm.
she. Yeah.
You want to tell it?
No, I think. What far as what? I don't
So he
remember what
came and
happened.
met me at the urgent
I just
care.
remember I met you there.
He met me at the urgent care and I'm like, babe, something ain't right. I don't even want to tell you. I don't even know why you came because I knew that I was, but I'm like, I don't know for sure because nobody is telling me that I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know. I might be pregnant, but I just don't know. Just whatever. And walked out and
Got out
closed
the
the
car
door.
like
And I left him
okay.
like that.
Like that was my first time even hearing about it because I really wasn't. I was clueless. I
And
really
that was
wasn't paying
the
attention to none of it, to be honest with you.
right. So when we went to the football game, well, the practice, that's how Tina bought me the food and stuff.
What
Remember
practice?
for the Redskins practice? Remember we ended up because you was like, "Do you still want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm feeling better."
Hmm.
Because I had stopped spotting, but I didn't tell you I stopped spotting.
Hmm.
So remember we Tina was like, "What else you need?" Because she was the only one that knew at the time.
Right. But when you
So
told, because that was after you told me, you said that that was after the urgent care. The game was after the practice was after the urgent care, right?
yeah, the same
I mean,
day.
I already kind of once you said that, I wasn't, you know what I mean. I was just like, okay, well, I'll just let it play out, basically.
Right. Then then after that we moved forward with going to I went to the doctors. And I didn't want to tell him anything until after I went to the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So on August 25th, I went to the doctors
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, she was like, all right, pee in the cup, da 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 da. And I'm like, all right, I've been through this process before. And I'm like, all right, pee in the cup. She's talking about, oh, you're pregnant. I said, okay. I'm like, okay. So then by that time, I think I was like 8 weeks,
Mm-hmm. 7.
7 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, he was like, all right, go get an ultrasound done. Then that same, I was like, I need to go that same day because I need to tell him. I need to let him know. So I went that same day, got the ultrasound, and then I made a little kit when he came home. And then
She tried to make me cry, but I wasn't going for
it
it.
almost worked.
Just a smidge, which is a little bit. She almost got me to cry a little bit. Just a little bit. But she whipped the camera out on me. That's what like made me build up some courage. But yeah, and then ever since then,
And that was
she was
August
pregnant.
2021.
Right. All the way up into everything, was all fine all the way up into November.
November.
When we had the
5th.
gender reveal. Huh?
November 5th.
Right. When we had the gender reveal, but it probably started happening the day before.
The day before. That night, I was feeling like contractions. And I'm like,
Well, you ain't know
I
what
ain't know what it
contractions
was.
was, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
Contractions. So, and went to the doctor.
We went to the emergency room that night because it
And what they say that
intensified.
night? What they say that night?
They heard the baby heartbeat. They said,
No. The night of the gender reveal, we went to the doctor.
That's what I'm saying. The
No, I'm talking about, but you started feeling the pain the day before that, before the gender reveal, because I was like, "Is you alright?" I'm like, "Because we could cancel the gender reveal if, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't, you know what I'm saying."
And I'm like, no, everything's fine.
Right.
But whole
Playing
time
games.
I'm hurting.
Right, exactly. We know what to do next time. I know I'm not playing with you next time. I know that much. But we
went to the emergency
room that night at the gender reveal, which was November 6th. Right. November 6th, we went to the emergency room, and what they were saying?
Nothing.
Basically,
right then and then they should have gave me the
Oh yeah.
to stop the contractions.
That was the
That's
black
what they
doctor
should have
that
did.
day. That was the black. Right.
He should have checked me to make sure I wasn't dilated. And if they would have gave me the pills to stop the contractions, he probably still would have been here, or probably would have lasted a little bit longer.
No. If they would have stitched you. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But they had to stop the contractions. If they didn't stop the contractions,
well, they would have stopped it, but still, the main thing was the stitching, because they could have stopped. They stopped the contractions even afterwards. So the main thing was the cerclage. Doctor chose. Yeah. So that week was stressful.
I was in the hospital that whole week.
The whole week, back
in
and forth.
out.
Back and forth to the doctor.
Because that doctor said, okay, you're fine.
First and foremost, the OBGYN should have caught it. He said it was abdominal, some kind of...
It's around the 5th trimester. The 5th month. They, but he said it was Braxton something.
I don't know, but he should have took it more serious than he did.
Because that was Tuesday.
Yeah, that was Tuesday.
Because Monday we came back from the hospital, the emergency room, still feeling the pain. Tuesday, it was
what? What, the camera about to die?
I think so.
What did it say?
Something popped up on it.
Oh, okay. Well,
So Tuesday we went to Monday came home. We was resting. Tuesday, I was on the phone with Tina that morning. And I'm like, Tina, I'm spatting. Tuesday, I said, I'm spatting. And I was hurting real bad. I was making that noise. Remember that noise?
Yeah.
And Tina was like, you need to go to the doctor's.
Yeah.
So I was like...
Let me put the charge in. We ain't got to rewind it back. Just pick back up at Tuesday, right?
It wasn't Tuesday. It was Monday.
Okay, so
Okay, so what happened
It
was
wasn't Tuesday.
Saturday night, we went Saturday night into Sunday, we went to the emergency room after gender reveal.
Okay, so you reminded it back all the way to then.
Yeah.
Okay, so rewinding it back to Saturday
Mm-hmm.
of the gender reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Saturday night, we went to the hospital. They talking about everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That was into Sunday. So um, Sunday came. I'm still feeling it, but I'm like, it's okay. It's not as it still was like it wasn't as bad as it was
Mm-hmm.
at the end. But I was like, I don't know, everything is feeling a little different. So Monday I went to the doctors because was feeling that pain, and then I started spotting.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday I went to the doctors, and he was saying they fit me in the afternoon. The contractions was horrible the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't eat. So when I went to the doctors, they weighed me. I lost weight, and I'm telling the doctor, I'm like, I can't eat. I lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong.
Right.
And he was brushing me off, and I'm like, something is wrong. Like, I know something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit, nothing. Like, them
Yeah,
contractions
that was
was,
you couldn't eat.
yeah, I couldn't. I ain't want nothing to eat, no nothing. So Monday, he's like, you're fine. Just go home.
Basically.
It's what women go through when they're 5 months pregnant.
Yeah, he said it was something. I forgot.
I
What he
said
said
no.
it
I
was.
said this been happening since Saturday, and it's an all day thing. And he's like, "You're fine." So I'm like, "All right, whatever." So Monday night to Monday night into Tuesday, we went to the emergency room.
Right.
Back to the emergency room. The doctor like, "Oh, you're fine. Go home."
Right.
Then um Wednesday, went back to the emergency room. This time we went to
A different emergency room.
no. This is so Tuesday. I mean Wednesday morning we went back to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the doctor told me to take a laxative. He didn't check the baby heartbeat or any of that.
Right.
The whole time I'm in there. He's like, go home, take a laxative. That was during the day, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
He like, go home, take a laxative. You'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. I didn't want to take it. I'm like, no. But then I was like, no, something is still wrong. Like I'm feeling these things. Like even while I'm there, I'm having the contractions, and they could see it, but nobody cared. They was like, whatever.
Right.
So Wednesday night, we end up going back to another hospital. And then that hospital, they were saying, by this time I'm bleeding. Like big clumps of blood is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, something ain't right. So we drove all the way to Annapolis Hospital.
Right.
Then after we went there, it took me an hour and a half just to get a room while I'm bleeding.
In Annapolis?
Mm-hmm. Remember everybody kept going before me?
Yeah.
And I was having a fit.
Labor and delivery.
Like by this time, I'm like, the contractions is real. I'm like, I need to be pushing at this point. That's how I was feeling. I was bent over, crying, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Put me in the room. They trying to give me the IV and stuff. I'm throwing up. I'm just like something ain't right. They checking the baby. They talking about the baby's fine. The whole time nobody checked to see if I was dilated.
Right. That was the main thing.
So I'm like, okay, something still's not right. So by this time, we leave the hospital room. Before we leave the hospital, they called my doctor. My OB said, just come in the following morning. So I'm like, okay. Before we leave the hospital in the emergency room, I'm like, I'm bleeding. Like, I need a pad or something. That's how much blood I was losing.
Right.
And he's talking about, well, just go home. The nurse was like, just go home, see how many pads you go through.
Right. Crazy.
So I'm like, whatever. So the whole time driving home bleeding. Then that morning, my sister took me to my OB because my baby needed some rest because we went in the hospital for a whole week, basically.
Tell her.
So, by that point, when I get to the my OB, he checks me and then tell my sister, go to labor and delivery. So I'm like, so my sister doing probably like 100. And
Me
I'm
too.
like, so I'm like, what's going on? By this point, I still don't really care what's going on because them contractions was kicking in stronger and stronger. So, I go there and then they, I'm like, why I'm in this room? This is where they deliver babies at. So I'm like, whatever. They still on 1,000. I don't care. So, we in the hospital for like 2-3 days.
Annapolis?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 2.
2 days. So they kept giving me stuff to try to stop my contractions. I had a wonderful ultrasound person. She prayed with us throughout the whole process while she was doing the ultrasound. And then I had two awesome nurses. What was her name?
And Annapolis? Oh, no, I forgot. Why you whispering?
The one, I forgot her name. She was awesome. Remember, she was like, all right, we're going to put your feet back. She kept checking on me every hour. She like, we're going to stop this.
Her name's like Tatiana or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was her and it was another nurse. And I was like, I love it. So then by this point, my water still it still didn't break. And we went to, the doctors came in. So the doctor's like, it's basically nothing we can do, and you're going to end up having this baby. I'm like, I'm not hearing nothing y'all saying because I know my God, and y'all not my God. So y'all can get out my room.
All right, basically.
I'm like, I don't care what you got to say or what you got to say. If you ain't got no faith, you can leave. So basically, they sent me home. Once they sent me home, we went to my mom's house, and the contractions slowed down. Because by this point, that the contractions stopped. Then we went to my house, and later on that night, the contractions came back. Then we went to Holy Cross. That was the worst experience.
As soon as we got there, they broke your water.
As soon as we got there, my contractions stopped, actually. As soon as they hooked me up and the baby was, and they heard the heartbeat and all that, contractions stopped. Then it was a nurse trying to take my blood. She talking about,
missing everything.
Oop, sorry. I think I damaged a vein. Oops, sorry. I think I damaged another vein. So by this point, my baby like, you ain't gonna touch no more. So I'm like, baby, calm down because I don't want them to end up damaging any more veins. So then the doctor there, she was like, so first the Annapolis doctor told me, he was like, we're not going to touch nothing down there because I can see your water and I can see the head of the baby and stuff. So I don't want to touch nothing. Just go home, and if you can make it 2 weeks, then we can deliver the baby and he can survive.
Right.
So we like, all right, we just going to go home and chill. But that ended up happening. So we went to Holy Cross, and then they was saying, it's like they do that every day.
Yeah, no.
It's like they don't give no chances of nothing. So the doctor there, and I'm like, she's reading all the report. So she could see that they didn't break my water and stuff. So she asked me, she was like, she down there too long. I'm like, are you okay down there? Like, what's going on? Like, she down there too long. She keep fiddling around with stuff. And I'm like, and then I just, I said, she broke my water.
Mm-hmm.
Then the doctor and the nurse, I'm like, they was like, when did your water break? I said, she just broke my water.
Like today, just now.
Like,
Less
y'all
than a
know
minute
that.
ago.
Like, she just broke my water.
Right.
And they was like, oh. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Right.
So by this point, it's no saving the baby.
Right.
We got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So as we leaving, the lady who damaged my veins talking about, congratulations.
Right. Like, girl, you know what's
I had
going
to
on?
calm my baby down.
You must be new. You got to be in training.
I'm like, baby, it's okay.
Congratulations. Like,
I said,
girl.
okay, thank you, whatever. I was like, it's okay. I said, babe, calm down. It's fine.
There's something on my face.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
Yeah. So then I'm like, it's fine, whatever. So then after that, we where do we? November 13th in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
First, they gave me some medicine and knocked me out.
Right.
I
So
was
basically, it was just once they broke the water, they took you down to the labor and delivery high risk ward, and they was just waiting for the baby to come. That's all. So
And he probably could have came a little sooner, but I was holding it off because I'm like, I don't know what's going on down there. And then I'm like, I can't take this pain no more. I need some more medicine.
yeah.
So then that process was a lot also because we once I pushed the baby out, I kept pushing out blood, trying to push out the placenta. And I'm like, I can't push no more.
Right.
I'm like, by this
You talking
point,
about after the baby?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
I'm like, I
that
can't
was more
take
stressful than the baby coming out because
the baby came out
mine
easily.
slid right out. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, but this placenta ain't coming, and I can't push no more. So, my sister's on FaceTime, my mom praying, my husband praying, everybody's praying.
Mm-hmm.
Then the doctor was like, all right, well, let's set her up so she can get a epidural and we can do a blood transfusion. Because if she lose any more blood, she ain't gonna make it.
Lost
So,
like over I think a liter.
I lost a liter of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Then the doctor was saying, so God is awesome because I hear what my husband and my mother and everybody else saying, but in my head and in my mind, I'm not getting no epidural. I'm not getting no blood transfusion. I'm not getting none of that because I guess my fear was I don't want to get that and then I get paralyzed because what if I have a contraction in of them trying to give me the epidural in my back?
Right.
That was my whole worry because my sister, she got an epidural the first one with Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Second one, they couldn't get it for Michael.
Right.
So I'm like, you ain't gonna paralyze me.
Yeah. I mean, but it was a basically life or death situation.
Right. But I wasn't hearing that. I wasn't getting no epidural. I'm like, God, please, because I can't. As soon as they was about to come in to transport me, the placenta, I said, I need a push. And the placenta came out as soon as they opened the door to give me to transport me.
Right. As soon as they about to take her out, that thing came out like I was like, thanks you, God.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lord knows I did not have time for another step in another room for no surgery or none of that. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But God always come through on time. So our son was born that day.
Right.
And it was emotional. It was an emotional day for both of us. It was an emotional time for both of us. But it opened my eyes to that's what I was saying earlier, but I didn't want to get into too much detail of it, of being more aware of miscarriages and like being an advocate for women who have miscarriages. And that is our reason for doing this. Well, we was gonna do this anyway, but we was gonna do this episode anyway, but we did it because this month is actually pregnancy and infant loss month. So
Mm-hmm.
we dedicating it to that. We should put a picture of our we want to put a picture on here
We
of
can put a couple of pictures of the like different little processes that SNAP
us
like
in the
to.
hospital and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'll put some pictures up to show you guys,
And it was
and share our testimony. But it's overall, God makes no mistakes.
right.
It was a learning experience. We know what we have to do, and in the beginning, if she would have when it first started, if she would have gotten if they would have gave her a spectrum test, which consists of opening her up and seeing if she's dilated or not, they would have been able to put a stitch on her cervix, which is called the cerclage. So we are aware now, and not only that, that's a whole nother story. We didn't even touch on the
The main
fibroids.
reason why we've kind of lost the baby as
The
well.
fibroids is the cause was the main cause of her miscarriage.
Because the fibroids, I had 4 fibroids, and they was the same size of the baby. So it was
Right.
between the baby and them fighting. And my doctor knew from the beginning that I had fibroids because he saw it in the ultrasound.
And that's why we say they don't explain the severity of fibroids. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's like, come on now, like pretty sure she's not the first, and God forbid that a young lady will have to go through that, but she's not gonna be the last. You know what I mean? And that's just the statistics on it, but
And even like, so throughout the whole process, my faith level was so strong.
hmm
Like they was like, "Man, you're about to have a miscarriage," and I'm like, I know my God, me and him up here,
right,
like he got me covered with peace, peace
yeah,
beyond understanding. So the even while we was the social worker came in and everything, she was
hmm
like,
you
"Your faith
okay?
level is just so." She didn't say faith level. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like you're so strong," and I'm like,
hmm
okay. She was like, because the lady in the next room, she got kids and she not doing so well. And the next lady ain't doing so well. And this is your first. And I'm like, but my God. So
Right, there you
I
go.
know that he's going to have me protected.
hmm
And even in, no, even when we was in Annapolis Hospital, God showed me that he was taking Miracle up.
hmm
And I'm like, okay, God, all right. But I'm like, he still gave me peace throughout the whole process. I think the only time it hit me was when we was about to leave that day.
When we was leaving the hospital.
Mm-hmm. That's when I broke down.
Yeah.
And then I guess because that's when reality hit, because the whole time while being in the hospital, he right there next to me. And I'm like, baby right here, I'm good. Like,
hmm
you can't tell me nothing. I'm fine. My baby right here. So, but knowing that I had to leave him was the process of me breaking down and stuff. But even after I delivered him and delivered the placenta, I still wasn't eating till like basically almost 24 hours later. So I was very weak. Like I was telling the nurse, I need something because I couldn't talk. I couldn't do
hmm
nothing. And I'm like, this is just ain't right.
hmm
So then after that we came home and we have and had a great support system.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because without our support system, it would have been rough. So for people that's going through without a support system, not only God, but our family, like all that plays an effect, and it's like awesome. And I'm like, thank you, God.
hmm
So without them, I'm like, oh no. So after we had him in November, then I went back to the doctors after my 6 weeks for my 6 week checkup. And the doctor was like, my OB was like, you need to get this taken care of, because if you don't get this taken care of sooner than later, you're not gonna be able to breathe. That's how big they was going. They was going big, like I was going to be 9 months pregnant with 4 babies inside of me, basically. So he was like, you need to hurry up and get this taken care of, because if not, this is not going to end well. So we was searching around, and then we have this awesome doctor, cousin, friend, aunt. She was on it. She wasn't playing with me the whole time. She was like, you need to get this taken care of. She recommended Dr. M. He was wonderful with. He's a beast with taking that out. Stitch you back up. You good. Because at first when we went in there, he's a man with little words.
Little words. Right.
And I'm like, baby, I don't feel comfortable because he ain't saying too much. He ain't making me feel comfortable enough to make me feel like he going to do the job correctly. Because by this time, I'm tired of doctors, because doctors have failed me. But my God didn't fail me. Doctors failed me. So I'm like, all right. So once he, that was in February. So it was like from November all the way up into February, we just been going through trials and tribulations. And I had to get opened up. I had to get a C-section. So my body was just weak because just delivered a baby, then got to get a C-section, then was in a hospital trying to come home. Caught a fever on the day I was supposed to come home. Had to stay in the hospital. It was just an emotional time.
Yeah, it was definitely stressful. Like I couldn't. I'm like, Lord.
It made us stronger and lean
Help
on each
me.
other more.
Yeah,
It strengthened our marriage.
that's what those vows are about. I heard Pastor Tim Ross say what did he say? Well, Pastor Tim Ross, I heard him say what did he say? Say when you say I do, you saying I do to what you don't know about that person. So that means for the worse, for better, for worse.
Yeah.
So whatever you don't know, whatever's ahead of you, is what you saying I do to.
Because he had to give me my shots, had to help me to the bathroom, had to help wash me up, because I was so weak, because my body is still trying to replenish my blood loss, trying to recover from having a baby, trying to recover from this C-section. So between family and my baby taking care of me, like, it was rough. Like, and then I don't like to depend on people. Let me say that. So for me having to depend on people, I'm like, oh my God, I ain't got no choice. I don't like to ask for help. None of that. Like, I'm good. I got it. I'll figure it out. But I couldn't. And I think that was a learning moment for me also, to know that I have to be vulnerable. I have to learn how to depend on people. So that was a learning curve for me as well.
Yeah.
And fibroids are very serious, and 50%.
No. You talking about who have 'em? It's 40%.
40% of Black women have it. And well,
No, it might be. I forgot what it is. Something 40%.
40 to 50. And it's not just
It's
Black
either
women.
40. It's
Black,
either 40.
Hispanic.
Yeah, it have fibroids. and it's either like 50 or 40, 30, something with the
Miscarriage rate.
no, have babies prematurely.
Yeah, because Holy Cross, that's what they advertised when we went into there. It was like, dang, that's how many people have miscarriages a day?
Mm-hmm.
And if we have better, it's, I don't want to say better doctors, but I know we have been through a lot with COVID. So doctors are awesome,
Mm-hmm.
but you do have some doctors, like if you have some people everywhere that just there just to do a job and like go home, get out my face. They
Right.
don't care no more.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of people. Like it's rare. So find a doctor, find an OB. That's a high risk doctor.
Right.
Regardless if this is your first pregnancy or your fifth, still do a high risk doctor because they're going to tend to you more if anything occurs than a regular OB.
First and foremost, figure out if you do have the
And pray.
fibroids, get it taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Get those removed.
Because they can be deadly.
Right. They can get big. They can get as big as you looking like you're 9 months pregnant with one fibroid in your stomach. So get that taken care of. And like we said, we just bring it today to we just it's the month of being aware. So we're advocates for women that have miscarriages. We stand behind them. We know what it is. We know how traumatic the situation can be, and we are a part of it. I don't want to say victimized because that just sounds like a bad word, but we for lack of a better words, we have become victim to that. We will keep you guys posted on our journey for when we do have our babies that God has told us that we're going to have and that we're not giving up on at all.
Right. And you got to read pregnancy prayers.
Right, read pregnancy prayers. That's good too.
And just read prayers, period, over your life.
Prayers over your life as well. Yeah. So this is a good episode. You think so?
Yeah.
I know so. Thank you guys for tuning in. We would love to stay and chat it up some more. But I feel like we touched on our overall story. Did you miss anything? Is there anything we left out?
Yes.
What's that?
When you're pregnant, no matter how far along you are, don't you ever take a laxative.
Right.
Ever. Because you're just saying, I'm going to abort my baby.
Right. Well, you got to think of it like a laxative is to help your bowels move to push out. So if you take a laxative, it's like pushing your baby out. So that's what that laxative thing is all about. And if you're having a miscarriage, it's going to help you push your baby out. When you are in labor and you're having a baby, they use laxatives to help women push babies out, right? Right. So yeah, that's the logic behind that. Well, thank y'all for being here with us and listening to our story and testimony and journey.
And I did it without crying.
Yes, you did. You did a good job.
Thank you.
You did a good job. Only on take 7, but it's all good. We appreciate y'all for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, please. And share this, because I know that there's couples that go through this. It's people that I know that didn't even know it's people that I know that I didn't know that they went through things like this. So
yeah,
there's a lot of people that go through this, man.
And they stay silent about it. And
yeah. Or they just, It takes a different effect on everybody, and it affected us. It hit us hard. We just regrouping. Well, we had to regroup, but we because there was times that I couldn't even talk about it without crying. I was still in a grieving process.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a thing that happens. It happens. So as long as you are aware, you can get in front of it. God will be with you through your walk, and we will see you guys later. Brother Charles and the lovely Miss Kia, we are out. Bye bye.